Hello there, and welcome to this week's podcast. This week's podcast, I decided to light a little bit of a fire out the back, seeing as it's a nice kind of cold winter's night over here in New Zealand. And just give you a bit of an ASMR effect again, trying out a few things, having the crack, So if you have a pair of nice headphones in now, you can probably hear the ambient noise of a fire crackling close by. So I'm after having a funny few days all the same. So I booked flights back to Ireland the other day, which cost me an extortionate amount, which you could probably guess already. But heading out the 26th of this month now, back to Ireland, back to the Emerald Isle. Fuck, I can't wait. So that flight is kind of going from Auckland via LAX and LAX onto Dublin. Please God. Hopefully I'll have no fucking bullshit now along the way. Fuck. But weird times, I decided to kind of up and get the fuck home now out of it while I can, seize the opportunity. Prior to this, kind of got, I suppose, kind of got stranded in New Zealand, in a way. Even though I love it here, kind of got stranded, And with work being the way it is and the current climate being the way it is and all that kind of stuff, I decided to quit while I was ahead now and get the fuck out of here. But I was looking on the site the other day, and it was saying to me that, because of coronavirus, flights now, you're essentially not sitting beside people, which in my opinion is a fucking win. Like you don't, nobody's going to be sitting beside you on the plane. When you hop onto a plane and you sit down on the plane, and the person that you think is going to come to sit beside you never sits beside you, and you're like, fuck me, I have the flight to myself, you know what I mean? You can hunker down and get some sleep for yourself. So deadly looking forward to that now. And what I might record actually is the trip home. So I might start out here, leave the house, go over to the airport, I'll give you a bit of an update, and then I'll give you a bit of a recording over the flight as well, and the stopovers, just to give you kind of an idea of what's going on with air travel. That being said, though, the flight could be fucking be cancelled now, lads. But I got onto the Irish Embassy the other day, and in fairness, they were helpful, as much as they could be, and because you see, with New Zealand, you're so far away from everything that you have two ways of flying home. Essentially, you fly via Sydney. Right now, anyway, you fly from Auckland, Sydney, somewhere in China, either onto Amsterdam or London, and then London home. But another way you can get home then is flying via Auckland, LAX, America essentially, and America back to Dublin or London. But I was lucky enough now, I got a flight from Auckland. Well, I'm flying from New Plymouth, which is an hour's flight up the road, because a 5-hour trip up to Auckland, I couldn't be fucked driving to the airport now. But that fucking feeling you have to drive to the airport and all that kind of crap. Jesus, that's an absolute nightmare. But anyway, as I was saying, bit of leg room on the flight, lads. Sure up the fucking boys, you know what I mean? I'm delighted now. We get a little bit of shot eye on the plane. Fucking brilliant. Had a funny old experience the other day, all the same too. I am quite used to dropping the F-bomb every now and again, and the C-bomb on occasion when it's called for. But how good are curses all the same? You know what I mean? Like fuck off. Like, if somebody says fuck off to you, it's universal, you know what I mean? There's no translation needed. Like if you're in an airport, let's say in fucking Hong Kong, and somebody's arsing around with your luggage bags or whatever like that, if you say fuck off to that person, off they will fuck. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think cursing in general, if it's used in the right context, can be perfect. Like, think about it. If somebody's asking you how a girl looks, and you describe, like, if you can like come up with a better kind of way to convey this, but do you know, when somebody's fucking beautiful, do you know when someone says, oh Jesus, she was fucking beautiful, do you know what I mean? You know she was hands down gorgeous, you know? So that's a funny one. But try not to drop the C-bomb as much as I can now, because in New Zealand and Australia the C-bomb is used a good bit of time, and it's used as much as crack would be used at home now, I'd say. Do you know what I mean? Like, you'd be saying, oh shit, that's shit crack, or that's good crack, or fuck, that fella's good crack, or, you know, all that. But instead, over here, they'd be saying, you know, he's a good cunt, you know, he's a bad cunt, you know, fucking cunt. But it's a funny one as well, actually, too, over here. What I noticed is Irish people can get away excuse me, Irish people can get away with cursing a lot more easier than anyone else, essentially. So in the place I work in an architectural firm, and throughout the office everyone's kind of going about their business and all that kind of stuff, and this isn't a brag either. Like, I'm not trying to make it's bad to curse. Like, I shouldn't curse for the most part, but you'd find yourself doing it every now and again. But so one of the lads I'm friends with in work, he does occasionally curse, like, but he gets reprimanded for it. But I don't. Like, I can go around and say relatively everything I want, and I said it to the boss there a while ago. I said, why do I not get called up about that, and why does Jono get called up about that? And boss says to me, just when you say it's bloody funny, like, you know what I mean? So with the Irish accent and cursing, sure, people think it's hilarious over here. So you get away with it a lot easier, which is bloody funny. Jeez, I hope that fire now is giving you a good ambient effect. It's very relaxing. That's the thing about fire, though. Jesus, fucking, I used to be some little pyromaniac when I was younger. Jesus, if I could get my hands on a lighter and match, I was gone for the wind. Be always gone off making little fires. It's such a little boy thing, though, isn't it, as well? I'm sure I was half cracked when I was a young fella. So yeah, we're coming out of lockdown, babies. We are coming out of lockdown over here. So New Zealand have announced today that they're going down to level 2 this coming Thursday. So essentially level 2 will look fairly normal. It's just basically social distance and stuff is kind of required. And I think, like, to give you an idea, I think the pubs and stuff like that are opening next Thursday here. So I'll tell you this much, lads, I'm heading the following Tuesday, and there'll be a right fucking session over the next few days, you know what I mean? After that, Jesus, I'll be down to Peggy Gordon's here in New Plymouth, which is an Irish pub. Probably one of the worst Irish pubs now I've ever been to, but sure, it's an Irish pub, you know what I mean? So I'll go in there now and I'll have a nice pint of Guinness, or 12, you know, and we'll see how it goes. Probably fall up the road. Sure. Like the old man once said, that fucker'd fall out a window and go up, you know. But yeah, it'd be nice to record a podcast now heading home in the flight. That'd be kind of a unique one. Give you now a perspective of what's going on with the world too, if you're planning to do a bit of trips in the future. To see what way things are actually like on flights and different things like that, and what the airports are looking like. Apparently there's fuck all people in airports right now. But yeah, you would have a little worry on you that you'd catch it as well, you know. That's kind of been on my mind a little bit lately as well. It's like, Jesus, I'll be going through now these places and all. Jesus, if I catch it now and all that kind of stuff, and I don't want to be seeing my family. That's the thing. I think I was talking to the mother the other day, and she was saying that what people are doing back home is 2 people are driving up to the airport, and so whoever drives up to the airport, then they hop into the other car and go home, and then I'll drive home the other car, which sounds like a good idea. And I will have to self-isolate for 2 weeks, so there'll be plenty of content recorded over those 2 weeks, I'd say. I'll be going fucking cracked. But yeah, the old coronavirus give you a new outlook on the way you work too, wouldn't it? Fucking hell. I love working from home. Like, one thing drives me cracked about working in an office is there's always one cunt that keeps you accountable when you're taking a shit. You know what I mean? Like, you kinda, it's not official, but you know that, Tom, Dick or Harry over in the fucking corner is keeping an eye on you while you're taking your shit and you're on the clock. Like, I fucking hate that. Jesus, I fucking hate that. Like, leave me have my bowel movements in peace, you know what I mean? Fucking hell. Like, sure, everyone's different as well, like, if you had a couple of burritos the night before, you could be in a big trouble, and you might need a good 15 or 20 minutes to try get it sorted. Oh my god. So we had no luck with the mushrooms after, lads. You'll be not so pleased to know I didn't get to go on a spiritual journey. But it's funny, I've joined this Facebook page. It's kind of to do with mushrooms in New Zealand and all that kind of stuff. One of my friends put it on to me. But Jesus, gasp what people to be putting up. Even just their trip experiences and all that kind of stuff. You could even do a podcast on that, even just reading out Reddit threads of people's trip experiences. Jeez, I might do that in the future. Some of them are fucking so far out there, it's ridiculous. It scared the shit out of you. Yeah. Fuck now, I wonder what it's going to be like now at home over the summer period. Like, I could imagine now when the pubs get open, it'll be like St. Patrick's Day all over again. Because there wasn't a St. Patrick's Day, as you can recall, this year. Which felt kind of strange. I reckon there'd just be a big fuck off blowout. You know what I mean? It'd be like Stevens's Day, St. Patrick's Day. What else is a big day? Fucking New Year's Eve or something like that. All combined together. And you going hard. It'll be fucking black inside in town. The Casbah down in Waterford will be fucking hopping, I'd say. Jesus, it's a right night out all the same. So I'm looking up at the stars at the moment. You can see Orion the Hunter. Bit of the Milky Way. What else is up there? And that's the thing about the stars down here, though. You wouldn't think about it, but they're at a different angle. So when you look at the stars from the northern hemisphere, you're looking down upon them, and when you're looking from down here, you're looking, up the way. So they're upside down. And you'll only really know that if you do examine the stars, when you're in the northern hemisphere, and then come to the southern hemisphere, you'll be like, fuck, different look about them, There's a beautiful moon the other night, actually, too. I think there was some sort of supermoon. Fucking Facebook threads love those supermoon things, don't they? Jesus Christ. Every 2 minutes there's a meteorite coming past Ireland, or coming past the world, and like, you click into them then, and then it's a bazillion fucking light years away, but it came close, do you know what I mean? They're like, the fucking thread is like, oh, fucking near miss, asteroid comes close to Earth. Then you click in and it's just pure clickbait. I fell for it, lads, like we all do. And And that'd be about 12 o'clock at night. And then by 1 o'clock then you'd be looking at fellas building fucking huts in the Amazon. Did you ever look at those fucking videos? They're fucking, I tell you about it, they're innovative little fuckers as well, all the same. Jesus Christ. They're good little craftsmen. That's how far you delve into the internet at night, isn't it? I saw another one recently where they were putting Mentos into little holes and they were catching catfish for some, I don't know how they were doing it, but that's the fucking internet at fucking 3:30 in the morning, isn't it? But yeah, fuck. Lovely, nice, quiet night out. The old crackling off the fire. Something very hypnotic about the fire all the same too, isn't there? When you look into it, you just can your mind to go elsewhere. Put you at ease. No matter what you be thinking about. Jeez, it'd be nice to hop in the water at home all the same. Looking forward to my first dip now back in Ireland. I wonder will it still be cold? What have we now? Should we be back the end of May. Be into June, sure you fucking water on to be heating up, wouldn't it? You can now surf in. That's the thing now, if you're in Ireland now and you're thinking about holidays, what'd be a great thing to think about is, Jesus, you could fucking go on a right holiday now in Ireland, you know what I mean? You could take the car and do a right little road trip. Go down about, West Cork, up to Kerry, up to Clare then. Get a bit of the Cliffs of Moher and a bit of Doolin. Could keep going up to Sligo. Those boys are dangerous up there, those Sligo boys. But yeah, that wild Atlantic way though is underrated in my opinion. The fucking Americans love it, and they love it for a reason, lads. Because it's fucking epic. If you do get a chance to go down there. And if you are thinking of taking up a little bit of an adventure sport or anything like that, I'll tell you this much, that's the place for it. Be great for the local economy as well, actually. Because all those businesses are suffering right now. And I think that's what holidays are going to look like for the next, for the foreseeable, summer and into autumn there. So if you are thinking of a little trip and you're like, oh fuck, I don't get to go to fucking Ibiza this year, I don't get to go down to Santa Ponsa, consider going on a little bit of a road trip around fucking Ireland. I'll tell you this much, you get a good bit of crack now around Ireland. And I think that's what they're looking at over in New Zealand as well. They're looking at I heard Jacinta make an announcement today just saying about that type of thing as well, kind of stimulating the economy. How New Zealanders are going to have to be proactive about how they holiday and all that kind of stuff, and really support, local kind of, I suppose, adventure style activities and all that, because that's what New Zealand's renowned for. Jesus, I don't even know if the ski season is going to happen over here now, because a lot of the ski, I was up on Ruapeo last winter, skiing a good few times. Right mountain ski, it's a volcano essentially. Fucking one of the most rawest places I've ever snowboarded on as well. Because it's such a hostile environment. It's essentially, so Ruapeo is this massive, just singular volcano in the middle of the kind of the North Island, just south of Lake Taupo, or Taupo as they say here. And yeah, it's you can literally see the coasts on either side on a clear day, which are, I think they'd be a couple of 100 miles either way, or maybe 150 miles. I know that New Plymouth I think is 100 and something miles anyway away from it, but you can see it on a clear day. But yeah, such a hostile environment. It's kind of like Andorra back at home, because it has that coastal effect. You get a lot of kind of relief snow on it, and it does kind of get shitty at times. You get a lot of sleet and different things like that as well. Conditions are a bit up and down, but when it's good up there now, some bloody fun, because you're going down all these valleys, you see. Because you think of a volcano and it just has all these kind of arêtes and like valleys that you can go down and carve down like a half pipe, and it's just phenomenal. If you snowboard out there, definitely consider a journey to New Zealand at some point. And I hear the South Island's even better, down around Queenstown, Wanaka. Much more consistent conditions essentially, yeah. Haven't got a really good powder day here now, which is disappointing. Yeah, would have loved the powder day. So over the last like 2 weeks, the weather has really changed in New Plymouth. Like I think it was a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, when the first kind of fall of snow, first dump of snow happened up on Mount Tairaki, and Jesus, it got bitterly cold over the next couple of days, because you get those southerly winds, and Mount Tairaki would be to the south, so you get those southerly winds driving up that cold air. Fuck, you could cut nipples with you could cut fucking glass with your nipples in the morning, I can tell you that much. It's nice though in the morning, you can come down to the deck, get the coffee, a little bit of a bit of nip, but bit of a bite in it, but it's still sunny out, you still get the bit of heat off the sun. Very nice to do yoga in. But yeah, interesting times. I hope that little hope the little bit of the fire now is give you a bit of a relaxing experience, a little bit of escapism during these uncertain and unforgettable times. Yeah, I think I'll record a podcast when I'm heading home, lads. I'll have a bit of crack with it. But yeah, I suppose thanks very much for listening to the podcast over the last few weeks. It's really great to get positive feedback from something you're doing, artistically or whatever like that, having a bit of fun with. And I really appreciate that, and thanks for sharing the podcast, and keep sharing it. It really helps with getting the word out there. Yeah, and if you can, if you're using Spotify, subscribe to the podcast. If you're on iTunes, leave a little review and subscribe again. And yeah, if you feel like you want to hear more of something, or if you're liking something, or even if you're disliking something, I'd love to hear about it. Just let me know on my Instagram page at the Serious Crack Pod, and give us a little follow. But yeah, lads, I'll leave you there anyway, and I'll leave you with the crackling of the fire for a little bit there, just to kind of get